What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony AJ Joshua. Get this. Anthony Joshua blames the loss to Usyk on overtraining for the fight. Anthony Joshua claims that he would have beaten Oleksandr Usyk last Saturday night if he hadn't left the better part of himself in the gym. AJ says he left everything in the gym while training for the fight and wasn't at his best on the night at the Superdome in Saudi Arabia. Making excuses for his loss gives the impression that Joshua is a sore loser and can't give credit to where credit is due. Joshua looked improved from the fighter that had lost to Usyk in their first fight last September, but he wasn't good enough. Usyk threw too many punches, particularly in the championship rounds when the match was on the line. It wasn't good enough. I adapted and I made changes needed to give him a more competitive fight. It wasn't enough. I left everything in the gym. If I'd had left everything in the ring, I would have won, said Joshua after the loss of Oleksandr Usyk. Let me counterpunch. First of all, Mr. Charles Brunn, he was the writer of this particular article. I have to counterpunch him. Don't disagree with him all the time, but I'm going to do it today in this segment, okay? That's an opinion, because Joshua didn't say, hey, had I not been for being overtrained, I would have done more. He didn't say that. He just says he left everything in the gym while training for the fight and wasn't at his best on the night at Jeddah Superdome. So you can misconstrue that as saying, well, hey, I was overtrained. So I see what Charles is doing. But him saying that, hey, it wasn't enough, I adapted and I made changes needed to give him a more competitive fight. It wasn't enough. I left everything in the gym. If I had left everything in the ring, I would have won. See, that's him explaining it in detail instead of taking it out of subtext. And that's what Charles did. Charles made it look like he only said that and that only, and that's his reason for not beating Usyk. Saying that Usyk's not good, saying that Usyk's not a great fighter, saying that he could have been better based on, you know, it wasn't Usyk, it was me. It wasn't Usyk, it was me. No, he didn't say that at all. And I think people are trying to make that out of nothing, okay? He congratulated Usyk, you know, and of course we're looking at it, hey, it wasn't enough, meaning it wasn't enough. That's all it was. Now you could say he's meaning to say it wasn't enough based on what he didn't do or based on what he did do in the gym. And again, if he's overtraining, okay, let's just entertain that theory. If Anthony Joshua is overtraining for any bout, okay, that means if he feels overtrained, that means he has too much weight anyway. That's all that means. He's just having too much weight, and the weight he can't sustain, okay? He can't physically form at his peak performance at that weight. He can't effectively, basically, the way he wants to, the way he should. You know, yeah, I know he's a gym rat and I know he's this and I know he's that, but him saying he was overtrained or him just saying that was the reason why I lost to Oleksandr Usyk because I was overtrained. No, he just said, hey, it wasn't good enough. So obviously he needs to do something else. Now, if that consists of him not overtraining, not spending the time doing what he was doing, that's one thing. But I think he needs to either do two things: lose weight and work on his diet. Eat more green protein. Eat something that's going to give you more energy, somewhat of pasta. I don't know what AJ eats. I don't know his diet. I don't know the man. But do those type of things and lose weight to see if you can come to a happy medium. That's what I would say about Anthony Joshua to help him, give him more of what he needs, because it's not the fact that he can't do. It's the fact that he doesn't have the gas tank to. Bars. I think that Anthony Joshua is a type of fighter that has been deceived by his own self-image. And his own self-image is causing him to not make the right decisions, not coming at the right weight, not being faster, not having the gas tank because he has too big of muscles. His muscles are too big. Okay? Like, the last thing you ever need to worry about is how buff you are. You know what I mean? I'm buff. You know what I mean? Like, that has nothing to do with you fighting, boxing, maneuvering, thinking. You know what I mean? Defending, attacking. That has nothing to do with you in the ring. Very, 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 very little, because you can do absolutely without. These are facts. So if he did mean that, and if you just want to take that in context like Mr. Charles has done, you should look at it just the way I explained to you guys. He needs to lose weight and change his diet to have more energy, to see if that gives him a better result. You know, then perhaps he could possibly train like he wants to. And then if he can't, okay, that means that you are overtraining because you've lost the weight. You've adjusted to the right body fat for your size and height based on genetics too. He has a set of good genetics. I'm not saying that. He can swell up easily, obviously so. But I don't think that. I think that's a front. I think that's a front based on self-image. That's what I think of Anthony Joshua right there in a nutshell. If he didn't give a shit about his image, he wouldn't care about how good he looked or how he's, you know, how his physique is shaped. He should be worried about how can I land these combinations? How many punches can I land based in my activity based on who I'm sparring? How many people? Not people that's giving me easy pick'ems or coasting with me or any of that. Let's see how long I can really do in the ring. Let's see if I am lighter. Let's see if I am stronger. Let's see what happens with me when I do lose this weight. If I had one recommendation for Anthony Joshua, it would be to lose the weight because it's not helping him. Because he should have had more energy to do more. The only thing that helped Canelo fighters like that with guys like Lara was the fact that Canelo knew what he had to do to make it seem convincing. If it was not convincingly, he would have lost that fight. It really wasn't, but I mean, you can convince yourself that he did throw. Joshua had to throw more punches. So let's add 50 more body punches just for Joshua coming towards Oleksandr Usyk and just welling to the body like Canelo did Lara. How you think the scorecards would have affected that? He might have won a decision because it showed that he wanted to win the fight. A lot of times people go off your energy and your confidence and your desire and what you're attempting to do. It might not seem like that all the time, but if you're landing a punch here, you're landing a punch there, that will definitely show you like or convince the judge that, yo, he's doing a little something. He's working. But if you're just sitting there with your hands up and your muscles swole and you can't raise them, you can't throw them like you want to because they're so damn heavy, because you've spent all this time, you spent all this particular time trying to look a certain way versus be conditioned to fight a certain way, this is what happens. That is what happened to Anthony Joshua. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Anthony Joshua supposedly making an excuse by this writer, Charles. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!